Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This video is going to be a little bit different than my normal content. As you can tell by the title, I did contract COVID-19 and I just wanted to come on here and share my experience with you guys, some of my symptoms, partial recovery time. I don't feel like I'm totally fully recovered and healed yet, but I definitely feel well enough to shower and semi get ready and sit down and talk to you guys. So I thought I would just take advantage of this opportunity to tell you guys about my experience. Okay, so a little bit of information before we start. I will say that me and David, my husband, are super safe when we're out and about. The only places that I do go is home, church, work, and then there is a coffee shop that's like 2 seconds from our house. So those are the main 4 places that we go. At work, it's mandatory to be wearing a mask. I'm not allowed to be in the office without it. It's really just me and my husband here at home. At the coffee shop, masks are required when you walk in, when you order, when you sit down to work on whatever you're doing. You can take your mask off and like drink your drink, eat your food, stuff like that. So that's the only place that, I mean, all the tables are still like spread out. Even at their community table, the seats are 6 feet apart. And at church, masks are also required. I help out at a local church close to our house, and when, you know, people show up and things like that, everyone's sitting down, spaced out, and as well as wearing masks. Masks or face shields are what's required. So all of my symptoms, actually, I'll tell you like the dates and things like that. I wasn't sure how specific I wanted to be, but my phone's down here in case you're wondering what I'm looking at. So today is December 8th. Now, my husband was experiencing some cold, flu symptoms all the way back the week of Thanksgiving. So the week of the 23rd. I knew Monday and Tuesday he wasn't feeling well. It didn't go away by Wednesday. We were hoping to gather with just our immediate family. And so he went and got a rapid COVID test done to see if he had COVID, to see if we were going to be able to go to Thanksgiving with our family. And he got the test, got the results. He was negative for COVID. So we go to Thanksgiving on Thursday. He's still feeling under the weather, but he's feeling okay. Friday comes and he's feeling like okay, and then I start to experience some symptoms. And so then we stay home Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Now come Monday, I was working from home. I did let my manager know, hey, I've been experiencing some symptoms. My husband was negative for COVID, so I feel like I just got a flu, a cold, whatever it is, and I'll be fine, but just letting you know I can't go into the office because we still do have some office hours. Between David and I, we do have to show up on campus and work in the office. And so I let my manager know, and for us, protocol is to share our symptoms with our human resources office. Just in case we do have COVID, they need to be able to do some contact tracing, and also I'm assuming just to kind of keep that on record, so they know how many employees have contracted it, things like that. So I call HR and they're like, we need you to go be tested, just in case you do for some reason have it, and you know, we need to be in the know about that. So I was like, totally fine, I'm not worried about it. And at this point, my symptoms are very mild, like just runny nose, sore throat. I was experiencing some headaches, and that was it. And on the other hand, my husband was like coughing up a lung. Like he was like coughing, his throat was hurting, he was having shortness of breath, things like that. And so now I'm getting more concerned that maybe he had like a false positive test. And so now I'm like, crap, we definitely need to get tested, because what if you had a false positive, or a false negative, and then you just gave it to me and now we both have COVID. So The earliest we could be seen was Tuesday, which was the next day. So Tuesday, December 1st, we got into the urgent care. We had like signed up online or checked in online, and it's like 6 minutes from the house. So we mask up, we go down to the urgent care. There's already like people waiting outside to like be seen. So I was like, oh dang, I thought we were gonna be like in and out, but we were there for probably like an hour and a half total. I was seen, and then they took the walk-in. There was two ladies, whoops. There was two ladies that were like waiting at the door. So they seen me, they seen one of the ladies, they seen my husband, and then they seen the last lady. And there was more people walking in, all to be tested for COVID. So I'm seen, he swabs my nose, he's like, what are your symptoms? And I tell him. Then the nurse practitioner comes in. She has like a suit on, which I'm like laughing just because I'm like, people, like, if you haven't seen someone in like a hazmat suit or like suited up like approach you, I just felt like, oh my god, I kind of got like intimidated. But she tested me. She said if I had any questions. I said no, and then that was that. I was out, and I went to wait in the car because we like carpooled. And my husband, I could hear him from like the waiting room in the doctor's like office doctor's room being seen. Like you could hear him coughing. And I'm out of battery. Okay, my battery died, and I like kind of swapped up the angle a little bit. But so my husband is being checked, coughing up a lung. I can hear him from like the waiting room. So I'm like super concerned about him. I'm thinking like, okay, he definitely has it, you know, all that stuff. So we get in the car. We are both still wearing masks because we're still not sure if I have it, if he has it, kind of what's going on. So we come home, and we basically just have to wait for our results. There weren't any rapid tests available at that urgent care we went to, and just for work reasons, and also, I mean, for him as well, for work reasons, he needs to find out if he can go into the office. And he also does stuff for a church community. He needs to know like if he has it. And yep, so we get home, I let my manager know, and I'm still, at this point, I'm still working. So I basically worked so we got tested December 1st, November 30th through December 3rd. I worked still from home. I didn't take any time off. I was feeling terrible, but I just kind of like laid down, got back up, laid down, and just tried to not take PTO, just because this is kind of my job. There's a lot going on, and I don't want to miss out on any of that, or have my time away negatively impact others on my team. So I did the best that I could, worked through Thursday. So I woke up Thursday morning on the 3rd. So at this point I was feeling sick for 6. I was sick for 6 days. And then Thursday morning I wake up and I am feeling really good. Like sinus has cleared up. I got a good night's rest, all of that stuff. I start work and I'm like, this is smooth sailing. David got medication for his cough. His cough is going away, all that stuff. So I'm sitting in our home office and I get a phone call from the urgent care. And it's never a good sign when they say they want to discuss your results with you. And so, you know, hi, is this Desiree? All that stuff. I'm like, yes. She's like, I'm from the urgent care and I want to discuss your results with you from your COVID test. And I'm like, okay, sure. Thinking this is gonna be like, you're negative, thanks, have a great day. And she goes, you actually tested positive for COVID. And I was just like, okay. And she's like, what are your symptoms? Like, how are you feeling? And I was like, I'm feeling fine. I was like, I have been having headaches, sore throat, runny nose, things like that, but nothing, no shortness of breath, no cough. I had been experiencing some headaches, and I didn't put them together, but I was having headaches and nausea. And I just kind of thought like I just wasn't feeling well, and so I was feeling kind of nauseous. And I don't know where the headaches were coming from, but they were like non-stop. I was having headaches every single day. And so she's like, yeah, you just need to, you know, stay home. You need to be getting lots of rest. You need to be getting lots of fluids. And that was kind of all she said. And she did let me know you need to stay home in isolation until, I think she said like December 8th or something like that. So, which is today. And so I'm like, okay. And I didn't know, like, I didn't like have any other questions for her. And I'm kind of just like in shock, trying to figure out, one, where did I get it from? And two, does David have COVID? Because they load your lab report results like in this patient portal thing. So I go over to David's room because we were even like sleeping separate, masks on, like keeping a distance. Really, we were doing everything we could. Separate bathrooms, everything. So I go over and knock on David's door. I have a mask on, and I'm like, you need to check your results, because I was positive. And no one had called him, nothing like that. So he goes onto the patient portal, his results are already there, and they're negative. I'm like, what the heck? How are you negative? So he has been probably tested at this point. This entire like COVID situation, he has been exposed or potentially been around people that have had COVID 4 or 5 times, and he's had to be tested. And all of those times he has been negative. I have no idea. We joke that it's like in his blood, and also like no one in his family has gotten it either. And like his dad's been tested multiple times because he's a pastor and he's been around multiple people. But never have they gotten sick. Like, I'm sorry, gotten COVID. And I'm just like, okay, well, at this point I'm feeling okay. I'm just kind of really, I'm like super sad. And we'll kind of get into like my symptoms and my emotional state in a minute. But I just was like, so we were just like thinking, how did I get it? He did it. And he is around more people than I am. And yeah, I have no idea. And even like at work in my office, it's gotten to the point where there's only one of us in the office at a time. So it's like I am on a floor where it's like I'm in my own private office. And then there's other people that work on like in different departments on like the other side of the floor. And then we'll have like student workers and things like that. But at all times we're masked up. We have masks on and we're all isolated. So at this point I'm a little bit like, what is happening? I'm upset. So I let my manager know. Oh, why is this so bright? My hair is looking very red right now. Let me attempt to use my camera skills. Okay, I'm back. I don't know if that did anything, but anyways. So I ended up jumping back online. I start working, all that stuff like that. So I just like keep working per the usual. David's like informing his family and people that need to know, all that stuff. December 3rd is when I found out. Now, December 4th is my mom's birthday. So we were planning to get like tattoos in Flagstaff. We were planning at least get together for her birthday and do some things with the family we have here. So I was totally torn and really upset that I could not be with her on her birthday. Mom, I love you. And it was very sad. So I was having a hard time. Not only was I just told that I had COVID and I can't go anywhere for a while. And I'd already been home for 6 days. So it just kind of felt like, okay, I thought I was coming out of this, and now you're telling me I have COVID and I have to stay home for still another like 6 days. So yeah, I had a really hard time that first day. I started to feel like really low, and I was really glad David didn't have it because I wouldn't want him to have it, and it's terrible. So that was probably like the hard part, was finding out that I had it, and then just kind of what came after of not being able to be with my mom on her birthday. And I'm also involved like in my church community, not being able to do that and all of that stuff. So like we had already been doing the bare minimum just because of COVID. We've been trying to stay socially distant. We haven't been going places or doing a lot of things. And then even still, like I get it. And then I have to be even more restricted and away from even family and close friends that we had been hanging out with ever since COVID had started. So it was just kind of a tough time. So the next day, Friday, I feel like that was the day that symptoms really started to hit me and I was feeling terrible. So Friday, I had already taken that day off for my mom's birthday, and now that I had COVID and I really was not feeling well, I decided to keep that day as my PTO rest day. And so that's when symptoms really got really bad. So I'm going to, I wrote them down. Some of the symptoms I had the entire time was lower body aches. So my knees down, so like my knees, my shins, like my ankles, my feet, everything, it was very painful for me. So I'm assuming it's just body aches, but it felt like my joints, my muscles, my skin even was very sensitive, and it was extremely painful to even like lay down. I was trying to like get to sleep at night and I was having like the worst time just because I was in so much pain. Another area of body ache that I was having body aches in was my lower back. So I'm like trying to lay there and get rest at night, and I hardly slept. Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday I did get some rest, but the body aches were the worst, and I would have them during the day as well as at night. So it was pretty rough, to say the least. Okay, and then I was having massive headaches and extremely nauseous. And I didn't actually put this together until last night, but last night I had the absolute worst headache and I was feeling extremely nauseous, and this was like on and off ever since I initially started having symptoms, lower body aches, as well as headaches, nausea. I had all of that starting. And I didn't really think about it. I just kind of thought, well, I'm feeling sick, so of course my body is, you know, being put through the ringer. It doesn't feel good, and that's why I'm having body aches and headaches and nausea. I also had sleeplessness, I had a sore throat, I had a runny nose. The other thing I had that was really weird was dry skin. So I wasn't wearing any makeup, nothing like that, and like around my mouth, around my nose was extremely dry. My hands were dry, my lips were extremely chapped and dry, and normally like I would want to say I take pretty good care of my skin. And so today is day, I think 10 or 11. Day 9, I really started to kind of get a little freaked out because a lot of my symptoms were starting to go away or lessen, but all of a sudden I woke up on Sunday, this last Sunday, like 2 days ago, and I started having shortness of breath and pain in my chest when I would breathe in. And I have asthma, and so that was one of my main concerns. When I kind of seen my husband starting to cough, he had trouble breathing, I started to think, okay, he has COVID, and hopefully I don't get it because of my asthma. I've said in past videos, I had really bad asthma growing up, all the way through probably high school. I would say college years is when it really started to kind of fade away, but there are definitely times when I'm working out that I'll get it. But for the most part, I have not struggled with it, but I just kind of seen the way he was struggling to breathe and how much he was coughing, and I just really became nervous that if I started to have those symptoms, like I'm gonna have to go to the hospital. So Sunday, day 9, I woke up, shortness of breath, I was feeling very nauseous, I had a headache, and I was just like, and it's Sunday, I don't think urgent cares are open, but even still urgent care said if your symptoms get any worse or you have difficulty breathing, you need to go to the hospital. So I am like crying, I'm freaking out. Of course, that's making my breathing worse, but I'm just so afraid. I don't want to all of a sudden my breathing goes down. I don't want anything like that to happen. I wasn't coughing at the time, but it was just difficult to breathe. So I thought that was kind of random. I thought I was getting like better, and then all of a sudden I wake up and I can't breathe. So, or I was having difficulty breathing. So, and even now, I think today's day 11, and I feel like I can breathe. If I try to like breathe in really deep, it is hard for me to do that, but I'm not having as short of breath. I was just trying to hang in there. I also, when I'm sick, I'm still active. I have no idea why. I'm trying to like clean up our room. I'm trying to clean up the bathroom. You know, we've both been in and out of the kitchen, so the kitchen's messy, so I'm trying to clean that. And I just kind of realized on Sunday, like, I literally need to be, my butt needs to be sat down, or I need to be laying down and just conserving all of my energy. I mean, at this point, like I said, day 9, I've been in my house for 9 days straight. And maybe that doesn't sound like crazy to other people, but it's like I haven't even gone to like get gas for my car, like grocery store, or just going to the office. Like those daily things, I feel like I was starting to get into a routine again, and then all of it is just like done. And so for me, it was overwhelming to be home. And I would say normally when I'm sick, I, you know, kind of stick it out and I'll take minimal medicine and I'll be fine. So to me, this was very terrible. Like it really was such a terrible experience. Not that I felt like I was life-threatening, but I really felt like I'm so isolated, even from my own husband, for some time. Like we had to wear masks, we had to stay in different rooms. And I'm not sure if you guys remember this, but when swine flu was a thing, I think it's H1N1 is the official name. Me and all my siblings, we all got the swine flu, and that was pretty bad. But I just think with this, with the constant headaches, nausea, body aches, and really on top of that, fatigue. I didn't like list that in my symptoms, but I mean, throughout this entire thing, fatigue has just been a thing. I had shortness of breath, but even like going up the stairs, I had to go really slowly, get into the top of the stairs. I had to like wait a little bit to catch my breath. My body aches have been going away, which has been a godsend. I've been like praying through this whole thing. I'm just like, God, please take this thing away, because it has been rough. Okay, so for the last 2 or 3 days, my symptoms have boiled kind of down to fatigue, shortness of breath, extreme nausea, and headaches, and just like honestly those on it, or it's even just the nausea on its own. Like it is so debilitating because I can't eat. I like start to feel hungry, but then it's like I don't want to eat anything because I don't know what's making me nauseous. But yesterday, around like noon or something, I had lunch, and then shortly after that I started to get like a headache, and my nausea like really started up, and I started to kind of think about, I'm like, okay, I wonder if my headache is making me nauseous. And to me it sounded like a migraine. So I've like known people here on YouTube or other people in my life that have migraines to the extent where it makes them nauseous, and they either vomit or they just, you know, stay sensitive to light. They can't be around people or loud noises, and that is really what it was for me. Last night I just kind of gave up and I had some white rice, and then I also had just like some steamed broccoli, and I could barely get that down just because of how sick I was feeling and how bad I had a migraine. I have the best husband in the whole world. He was like Googling all sorts of different medications that he could get me, or if we had anything here at home that could possibly help. So there was some medication we found online that has like, it was a mixture of like ibuprofen and Tylenol, or sorry, acetaminophen and ibuprofen, which I've also heard could possibly not help the situation. I don't know. I didn't have a fever the entire time. I felt like kind of hot and sweaty, but I never had a fever throughout my entire time being sick. So I took some Tylenol PM and some of the ibuprofen I had already been taking, and I laid down in our room. We had the lights off, and David was like trying to massage my face, like trying to massage my body, like hoping that was gonna like bring some relief or comfort to me. And I will say, like, it did kind of calm me down and relax me. I did end up going to sleep, and I actually slept really well. I didn't wake up in the middle of the night, nothing like that. And I want to say I woke up today around like 7:30. And I worked from home today, obviously. I have been really nervous to eat anything. I just don't know for sure if it's the migraines or headaches that are making me nauseous, or if these are just a combination of symptoms that, I don't know. I have no idea. So I've been trying to eat like crackers. This morning I had toast, cold berries. I also had, I made myself just like plain pasta noodles, hoping that would like put something in my stomach. And it's kind of a mind game. I'm like, okay, I can't be starving myself. Even though I'm nauseous, like I still have to eat something. So that is what's been going on with me. I was feeling like pretty low. I don't know anyone close to me that has gotten COVID. I had family and some friends reaching out. So I don't mean that I was like totally alone, you know, in this whole situation, but I just kind of felt like I don't know anyone else has been experiencing COVID that's near me that we can kind of like, not compare symptoms, but like, how are you feeling? What's going on? Will this go away? So I took to YouTube and I started YouTubing. I just like searched for people that had experienced COVID, that had gone through it. And I was specifically looking for people that had asthma that went through it. I found one girl, but she said she really didn't have any difficulty breathing or anything like that. So that wasn't super helpful, but it was nice just to see that other people had gone through it and they were either talking, you know, from a place of like just getting over it or from like months of recovery. Some people were sharing that their symptoms did go away, but it did kind of take 2 to 3 weeks for them to really regain their like physical strength, their energy and things like that. I do feel like I am turning a leaf. It's just been a very slow and tedious and annoying journey, and like I said, I'm not totally in full recovery, and hopefully I'll be able to update you guys in future videos or even over on Instagram, just kind of letting you guys know how I'm doing in a week or 2 weeks so that I can update you guys on the recovery and how long it really takes me to kind of get back my energy and all of that good stuff. But that really concludes the video. I just wanted to share with you guys my symptoms, my experience, how I'm feeling on day 11 today. And I will say I have been getting better. It does get better if you are going through it at this moment. It is just a process. And it really did help to have some people checking in on me. My mom and my sister, they drove to my house and they dropped off some goodies, which was really sweet of them. It's nice to have that support system. If you have any questions about my COVID experience, leave them down below. I would be happy to answer them. It's just a very interesting time. I know everyone experiences the symptoms differently if they do get it. I'm not a medical professional. I'm not a scientist. I don't know all of the things. There's also some really great resources even here on YouTube of like physicians or WebMD or just different health organizations. If you do have it, I am praying for you. I'm hoping that this is a speedy recovery, that you have an amazing support system. And if you are going through this and you're feeling alone, hit me up on Instagram. I will talk you through it and all that good stuff. These are just crazy times, but I'm very thankful that Christmas is coming and that it's Christmas season, and so there's a lot of warmth and joy around and on the way. Thanks so much for being here. If you enjoyed this video, make sure that you like this video and subscribe to my channel if you do enjoy this sort of content, story times. Feel free to look at some of my other videos. Also, if you guys have any video requests, leave them down below. The next big video that I want to do is a closet declutter, and I've like posted about it on Instagram. People have asked me here, and I will get to it. Love you so much. Bye. At the coffee shop, what are words? I have no idea. I am not a medical I can't even talk. I'm getting so tired just sitting here talking. This is bad.